Hey everybody, how's it going? I know it's a bit of a late start and my light is like super bright, so I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm in a cave, so maybe a little bit more than that. And I think that'll be alright. There we go. Now I can be seen. That's important. Alright, how's it going, guys? I'm starting a little bit late here, a couple minutes late, not too bad. But yeah, I really appreciate you bearing with me. I've been kind of swamped with a lot of things with work, but you know, I'm trying to keep the streams going, keep it going strong, and you know, we'll have fun with it. Hey, we got Zayan. What's going on, man? He says it's going well. How you doing? Like I said, I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing well, Zayad, and I hope you enjoy the stream. I'm really glad you're here. But yeah, make yourself at home and you know, enjoy the stream, right? I'm pouring myself a little bit of soda here, and let's get into the main stage here. And yeah, here I have the Discord. Surprisingly, not too much activity since last time. It's kind of rare, but you know, that's okay. I think you know, considering it's late in May, that and a lot of my according to my analytics, a lot of my viewers are, you know, college-age people, you know, younger people. I'm assume everyone's being swamped by finals and stuff like that. So that's, you know, that's totally understandable, totally fine. But I was gonna suggest, if you are not already part of my Discord, all you have to do is follow that link and have a free Discord account. And yeah, you go into the Discord, all you gotta do, it'll take you to the rules page, give that a once over, and then click on the teapot once you're ready. And then all the other channels will appear. There's stuff for sharing your own work, which, you know, a lot of cool things here, like renders. You know, Yaya likes to write his articles. He does an amazing job there. You know, there was Joao who very recently passed a couple of certifications, which is amazing. You know, just, you know, my community being awesome, you know. So there's that. There's also the CAD Tech Help channel, which, if you don't know, if you get stuck with SolidWorks or any other CAD program, though, I would say most of the people right now are proficient with SolidWorks. You know, just throw your question in there, and I will, or someone else in the server will be able to help you look at your case there, and yeah, I think it'll be pretty good there. And, you know, those are the most important things. Oh, actually, no, the most important is obviously the memes. You know, Yaya popped off with memes a little while ago, so if you haven't seen that yet, I definitely recommend you take a look at that. So, as far as today's model of the day goes, I think what I want to do is go to YouTube, and actually let's go to Thang's channel, Thang010146. I thought it auto-completed. Yeah, this guy. He has just tons of mechanisms on his channel, and you know, by nature of them being videos, they're already animated. But you know, they make just such great CAD exercises that I might just look through some of what he has here. We'll try and replicate it. I think that'll be kind of cool. Mechanism for drawing circle 10. That's pretty interesting. That is really fascinating. I wonder if there's any relationship between this angle and maybe like the size of the circle or something like that. Let's see, Hart's inversor. Oh yeah, these are straight line approximators. That's pretty fascinating. A perfect straight line. That's very interesting because a lot of mechanisms only do approximate lines. So we could do that. Watt's parallel motion. So Watt linkages typically have 6 members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the ground link's 6. So That's pretty interesting. And yeah, so yeah, this is what I was talking about. There, most straight line mechanisms are approximate, which is why I was uh, a little bit surprised when he mentioned that it was a perfect straight line. Obviously, this guy's a fantastic engineer. Gear folding knife. Oh, interesting, with like a planetary gear set. So you drive the ring gear, the planets stay in line and just transfer the motion to the sun, which pivots the blade. I would like to see an actual physical specimen of this. I don't know like how small those teeth would have to be, but I certainly think it's doable. It's definitely a little bit of overkill for in terms of opening a knife like that. There are a lot simpler mechanisms, but it's all about having fun with this, and he seems to be doing a fantastic job and having a good time here. What else? Tense gritty. Tense. I don't even know how you say that. Tensegrity. But I've seen this done in Lego. Yeah, all these ropes are in tension, so it looks like it should topple over, but it all works out, which is very cool. Belt drive, a robot gripper. This one's kind of cool. Yeah, this one's probably one of the most common kind of like mechanisms in terms of grippers, because it uses a linear actuator, which are, can be very, very strong, especially when pneumatically powered. A lot of great options here. I'm just browsing around. Yeah, and those were the pick and place mechanisms I was looking at when I did the pick and excuse me. For the pick and place mechanism last time. Rollamite. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think this would make a really awesome animation challenge. I like this. I really like this one. Oh, that is so cool. That is really cool. I like this one. I think I'm going to do a roll of mine. Let me see what he says. Invented in 1969 by Donald Wilkes. A linear bearing device has very low friction. Mechanism in lightly loaded instrumentation. See a prototype. Ooh, let's take a look. Let's see. Wow, that's very fascinating. Yeah, this one really speaks to me. So, and I can show you yet another example. I like to do this all the time, but yet another example of doing a rebuildable part in an animation. Any use cases for that movement, says Matthew. By the way, welcome back, Matthew. Hey, and Garlic's here, so now it's a party. Now it's a party. That's a good question. Oh, wow, okay. Frictionless machines. Frictionless is a bit strong of a word. Yeah, let's see what Popular Mechanics have to say. Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, an American inventor. Interesting. So he worked on missiles, suspension system that particularly intrigued him. Interesting. Basic role of my gas or liquid valve. This is very cool. Open image. No, I don't want to save. So yeah, looks like you could actually, you know, since this is like a flexible band, like a rubber of sorts. Yeah, this is so cool. You could actually make this into like a linear actuator. Soft. Yeah, so fire alarm. Oh, that's a really good idea. So, yeah, that is really clever. And actually, oops, I wanted to zoom in. So, a soft pin, that's not too far for like how a fire sprinkler works. Sprinkler. Yeah, so if you take a look at one of these, let's open image in new tab. Not open link. Open image. Yeah, I just want to see the picture. Yeah, so this this tube here is holding back this valve. So you connect it to a water pipe in the ceiling. Water pressure is trying to push the valve open and, you know, activate the sprinkler. This tube, I actually don't remember what it's filled with, but it's filled with a liquid that expands upon the introduction of heat. So it's really clever because you don't even need the presence of smoke because, you know, with a fire, it might not even produce that much smoke depending on what it's burning, but the heat will cause that gas to expand, and it's like in a glass tube. So that gas tube, that glass tube bursts and causes the valve to open, and then it splashes against this guard, and, you know, that's how you get your jet. So I could imagine something similar to this in here. Like, it could even be like a glass pin like that. Like, if you just get it to break and allow this to roll. Matthew's saying, I was taking a break and I'm about to go finish mowing. Do I stay or watch or please the wife? I get what you're saying. Yeah, mowing is such a pain sometimes. I don't know. I mean, you know, if it were me, I would watch me do models. But, you know, I don't have to answer to your wife. So that's a definitely just mileage may vary on that decision. I'll leave it up to you. If you have to go, I understand, but too funny, man. But this is really interesting. I've never heard of this. Hello? Alright, so let's just get started. Yeah, I didn't even close my files from the previous day, so that's the pencil sharpener that I did yesterday. But yeah, we'll keep it simple. I don't imagine it would take very long to model. Well, let's say that is 12. This is 3. And we can extrude this thin feature. Oop. How thick do we want to make it? We definitely want it mid-plane, maybe 3 inches or 2. Let's do 2. And as far as the thickness goes, we'll make it somewhat thick. And there you go. That's the frame of the Rolomite. Frame. New assembly. Let's put the frame in the center. Alright, we're looking pretty... Oh, did I goof that up? Hang on. Origin, I goofed it up. Alright, well, this is a good opportunity to show you how to fix this. So, for those of you who didn't follow very well, you might not realize what's wrong. The problem here is, for example, if I show my planes, the planes are based around here and the origin is right here, but my part is floating in random space. That's really bad practice because it throws off, for example, if you go to your mass properties, the window showed up over here, you see that we have a center of mass that is not centered at the origin. So for a symmetrical shape like that, you have these weird coordinates, so it throws that off. So that, among other things, just make it difficult to mirror and model, and you don't want to deal with that. So the way to fix it, first thing you're going to do, you're going to right click, float the part, such that you can move it around. Then what you want to do is get the origin of the part. So there's frame the part, get the origin of the part, origin of the assembly, and just to make this more deliberate, I'll hit mate. You want to assign a coincident mate, and especially important, align axes. So that's one mate that fully defines the location of the frame in 3D space. Oop, cancel. So let me hide those planes. So now that we know that it is fully defined. So can you leave it like this? Yeah, of course. But one thing that I really like to do is I like to right click on it and fix it again. And you might say, well, that's kind of redundant. Why would you do that? Again, it's another like best practice thing. So when I open up an assembly, if I need to know what part is affixed to the environment, I will go to the left hand side and look for the part with the F in it. So that F right here means that it is fixed in place. So that's why I really like to fix it so that the F appears again. This mate will become deactivated because you can't mate fixed components. It's redundant. So you can leave it there or delete it like this, and that's how you fix that. So now the origin is in the middle there. We can continue. Hey, Deval showed up. What's going on, my man? Glad to see you here. Matthew, doing a little reading. This appears to be another really neat idea with limitless possibilities, but unfortunately has too many disadvantages to make it into practical use. Yeah, there are a lot of things like that, but still pretty fun, I would say. But yeah, it's just really cool when people find a way to put together fundamentals, like basic properties of things to make something new. And even though like you have better solutions for things, it's like still very interesting to see. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Alright, so how big is this again? So that's 3 inches. So as far as the rollers go, so let's go make some rollers. There's 2 things I want to consider. There's going to be the actual contact point, which, thinking ahead a little bit, there's going to be the belt that goes through, that wraps around our rollers. It's going to have some thickness. So I want to decide that thickness right now. So in order to create the S shape, the rollers have to at least be bigger than half the width, right? Because if I go back to the assembly, if there were exactly half the width, they would just be 2 cylinders right on top of each other, and you wouldn't really get that S bend. I mean, you would, but you'd be able to pull on the band and then the rollers would just fall out, right? So it's got to be bigger than that. So this being 3 inches, so that means I have to at least make the roller 1.5, but I'm just going to bump that up to 1.75. You notice that I set that dimension to this construction circle, and that is when I do the mates in the assembly, I'm going to actually put those tangent together, basically. But it needs to leave a little gap for the belt to go through, because I'm going to model the belt. So basically this is where I decide how thick that belt is going to be, and let's say that it is 1/16 of an inch, 0.0625. Sanjay just showed up. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're having a nice day wherever you may be coming from, and yeah, enjoy yourself. We're making a roller mine. You know, something that Chad and I just discovered. You know, really very interesting. So, let me go back to this. So Thang has this pattern here that I don't think that matters too much. So I guess I can, you know, do whatever I want here. That almost looks like the revolving cylinder of like a revolver. kind of interesting. I wonder if we could do spokes or something like that, or if there's any. I mean, they seem to be shown solid here. Man, I'm indecisive of what I want to do here. So let's try here. Let's do this. Let's get circle, and a couple circles like this. Oops. I'm just gonna make like a design. Yeah, that's kind of what I do all the time, but whatever. So let's make these 120, and let's offset. Do that. Let's give that 1.5. That might be too much. .5, maybe this 0.25. Yeah, so we have kind of like a multi-contour sketch. I could trim, but I'm just going to leave it like that. This extrude cut, this sketch. And we want to grab that center to make a through hole. Like that, but for region, I might just grab this one. Like that. And then I can say circular pattern about this, features and faces. Ah, not that. Sometimes the boxes don't advance. There we go. And just put like 3. I wonder if it'll have a problem cutting that hole multiple times, and it would seem that no. It is totally fine. Could fill it. Let me see if filleting is okay to do right now. Yeah, it doesn't like that too much. So what I really should do is do it before the pattern. So fillet, items to fillet this, grab the connected loop, symmetric, a little bit less, and I'll just update the pattern to also include that fillet. There we go. So now it looks like something, but it's kind of unique. Roller. Alright, let's get the 2 rollers into here, and I can actually kind of set up the mechanism even without the belt. So if I just wanted to see it move, I don't need the belt, but you know, to explain it to someone, you'd probably want a little bit more detail, and that's what we'll go for. But to get this all started, let's do a mate, and let's do multiple mate mode. I don't know if you've ever tried this, but is you have to mate multiple things together. So something you could do is, for example, say that everything we're about to pick is to mate to the front plane like that, and then the things to mate to the front plane is the front plane of the one thing and the front plane of the other thing, like that. Multiple mate mode, and it could say put that all in a folder. So what that does, if you go down here in mates, you have this multi-mate folder that comprises the 2 coincident mates that, you know, keep this in the plane of the frame, if that makes any sense. Let's actually get this saved. This is a Rollamite, I believe it's spelled. Alright, so a couple things here. I know I can show this. Things I want to know. I don't know if I can actually select a sketch to be... Can I select tangent? I sure can. I think. Okay. That might be the way here. So then I can select the construction circle. Tangent to there. And I think the last thing... Well, not the last thing. We have a couple more things to do. But to at least put it in place, these two circles tangent. And that's kind of the character of the Rollamite, but you can, as you can see, it's not doing any, it's not moving properly. Well, that is something we can very easily fix. So the way I will do that is use a mechanical mate. We'll do a gear mate. So this against that will produce a 1-to-1 ratio. So now what I should see, so let's test. Now they're rolling against each other as if they are in contact. Yep, Matthew, yeah, you nailed it. I know you probably said it before I did because of the YouTube lag. Yeah, so GearMate is perfect for that because, you know, GearMate, I always tell people, GearMate does not care what the teeth look like. GearMate is only a mathematical property that says when this thing spins X times, this thing spins Y times, dependent on the ratio. So that is absolutely perfect for this. And now to keep him from slipping from within the frame, another mechanical mate I think I will use. Mechanical? Let's use a rack and pinion. So the rack being... I don't know if I can actually select that. Alright, so let me try selecting this face. And the pinion and gear, it doesn't like that. It does not want to put the two of them together. So I'll go to the frame and show the thin extrude sketch that I used. So the rack, instead of the whole surface, I'm just going to make it the line. Hey Sebastian, what's going on? And the pinion and gear will be that. It recognizes it, so I don't know if it's correct. So no, it's slipping against. I need to do reverse. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what we need. So see, schematically pretty simple. You know, if you wanted to just get something that works like a Rollamite in SolidWorks, that's really it. You know, 7 mates, something like that, and then you could do that. Very cool. You could also simulate solid body contact if you wanted to go even further beyond. Here, I'll show you. An advanced mate will take care of this. Advanced width. So you might not see how the width mate applies here, because usually in the width mate you select 4 flat faces. You select the wide faces and then you select the tab faces, and then it kind of centers it, right? It doesn't allow it to move. But for the width selections, if I, for example, select these two interfaces, the tab can actually be a cylinder, which is very fascinating. So you can see what it's doing. It's causing that cylinder to be evenly distributed along the center of those two faces. This locks up our mechanism, doesn't allow it to move, so it's not quite right, except if I go to constraint and allow it to be free. So now what this should do is, yep, bonk, doesn't allow it to cross there, but it doesn't respect the lower one, because remember, I only select the top one, but it bonks along the top one too. So if I wanted to be anal about this, I could just rinse and repeat. on the bottom one. So width, again, that is the two faces right here, like that. The tab is the cylinder itself. Remember to set the constraint to free. And there is our Rolomite. Alright, now for... Oh, why did it do that? Is this redundant? Hello? It seems to be still functional. What if I suppress that? I think these two will separate. Yeah, that's right. No, we need tangent. Doesn't like it though. That is very intriguing. You know, another way we could define this as, if I mate that to that distance, 1.75, that should also do it, because if these 2 points are always the same distance, it should maintain that. So let's see if it stays a little bit happier. Hey Alessio, what's going on? No one is late to my streams. I'm just glad you're here, dude. Alright, so the tough part here is going to be to kind of simulate the belt. So let's do this. We're going to insert a new part and stick it right on the front plane here. Okay, and we're going to borrow some lines from the other sketches. So remember, this is the sketch that is showing from the frame. You see it's highlighted here? We're going to convert that. And same thing for the bottom down here. Convert. And then we will also convert the dotted circle and the dotted circle from the other one too. Like that. Let me think here. I'm trying to think, so if we have a thickness here, it goes like this, wraps around, and then has to transfer over here. Ooh, this kind of turned into a bit of a topology problem. Alright, I'm going to exit this sketch. We're going to leave the sketch alone. And let's take it in its own part file so it's a little bit easier to identify. So that's a technique that I use a lot. Like a pseudo top down, where I'll start that new part, convert entities on the stuff I need to see, and then because I don't want all this clutter, just open up the new part and you can continue. So I'll start a new sketch on the front plane because I don't want to mess with the what's it called, the convert entities, the on edge relationships, because when I start trimming sometimes it can get a little bit goofy. But what I'll do, let me convert this again, and then this is the one I'll use to kind of modify. We want to convert that. Hey, sorry about my my little doggy. Stella wants to say hi, as you could probably hear. Yeah, let me go see if I can calm her down or bring her in. I'll be right back. Hello. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like they were in a shouting match with the neighbor's dog. They had some few choice words to say to each other, and you know how dogs gotta be. But continuing on this, I only want this part of the circle, so let's trim that with the power trim. Power trim. Let's also get rid of the construction entities. Like that. Okay, and I think I'll do the same thing up here. So, convert, bring that back. Convert again. Yeah, we can't simply connect these together because if you thicken to one side, it'll intersect on the other side here. So that's why I'm going through all this pain and effort to figure out what to do here. Honestly, I was thinking of doing a thin feature. That might not be the way to tackle this at all. So what I might do is, let's just get our offset entities. So do that. We decided on the thickness was 1/16 of an inch, so there it is. Offsetting for this set, you see if I hit the same direction, it's on the wrong side, so I actually have to reverse this one. And then I have to connect the outside of this to the inside of that, which I might do with just a spline or something. But before I do that, let me close these off on the other side. Perhaps could even use fit spline. Convert actual roller geometry to use tangency. I mean, you could. The thing is, like, if you look at like the belt part of this, it's like clearly like to the inside. When it gets to this middle part, it has to be perfectly centered if you think about it, and then transition to the other side. Honestly, I might just do it with a style spline. I might be overcomplicating it, maybe. That's what we do here on this channel sometimes. Set equal. Hello? Did that snap to something it shouldn't have? No. Hide. Hello? No, it doesn't want to solve all of a sudden. Or maybe the best way is just to honestly offset that. Let's see. If this gives me more problems, I'll try that. And actually, let me also set these equal. And then can actually set the length of it too. Something like that. Can you make a point that is constrained to the circle tangency point and have the spline snap to that? I guess if you could have like the, what might also have been easier potentially, instead of drawing like the one side, that I drew a line that is a 32nd of an inch halfway, and then just, well, even then, like, you would have to somehow make a transition. I think you could. Honestly, I think that's like, if you can get this geometry without, and I think you can for sure, and it's a matter of preference. So looking at that, oh my god, that is actually really good. Now for the test is when this moves and we rebuild, what happens? Part 6 throws a fit. That's sad. Why are you sad? Are you unsolvable? Hello? I don't see anything wrong. Bro, everything looks correct here. Has not been updated because solving it, such as a zero length line. Interesting. So did this update? It sure did. Maybe what I should say instead of on edge, I don't know if this makes any difference. So where's the on edge for that? So that's not the one. Let's display, delete. So we have on edge 0, on edge 8, on edge 10. Let's get rid of that one. And instead, here, let me move this back closer to where it was, so we don't have it freak out all at once. Okay. But what I want to see is what happens if I say that this and this should be co-radial instead of on edge. Because there might be a quirk with that on edge that is not allowing it to solve very well. So this and that co-radial. So again, the sketch becomes fully defined. Let me see if that makes it. Oh, I could actually do this. There we go. Let me see if that makes it any happier. If I do that and hit rebuild. And that seems to work now. If I move it very far, it freaks out. Or maybe I just have to stick to only updating it a little at a time. Because I think what's happening is if I move it too far, Solidworks gets a little confused of how to evaluate that co-radial. I guess it gets confused, like, should I snap it to this part of the circle or this part of the circle? That's my theory, at least. But I think as long as it's consistent with small movements, I think that should be okay. And what about this? I want to give it an appearance. Let's do rubber, maybe? Texture. Tire tread, sure. That's kind of funny. I'll leave it like that. We're getting somewhere. And let me see if I can actually move this over to one side. A little bit at a time. Oh, and it doesn't like that. So I wonder what's happening at that point. That might be fixable, honestly. Let's see what this says. Tangent to the appropriate semi-circumference. I think that would be ideal, but it's hard to tell SolidWorks sketches, like if there's multiple solutions to a certain relationship. Hello? Please. No, we don't want that. A vertical that dies. Hold on. Saying get rid of a tangent? What is tangent 19? That might be redundant, actually. Tangent. Tangent. Suppress. That might be redundant. I'm going to leave that suppressed. Okay, that seems to be working now. Alright, let me look back at what's it called? Thanks video. Go here. Yeah, I think as long as they're captured. Oh no. Oh, that's a good question. So I made a grievous error. So let me do that and then rebuild. I guess that works. I guess what was really throwing it off was that extra tangent. But I made a really, really awful error. You see, like this in mine, this would fall out. In Thang's, he has it correct. You actually have to nest this in the bend. So the tangent solution is actually wrong. Oh gosh, that is so sad. Alright, this will probably break a lot of things, but if I do that instead. Actually, wow, it actually did a pretty good job rebuilding. You know, obviously some stuff to fix, but it needs to be like this. Oh, that is amazing. But yeah, so let's fix this. I think the way we need to do that is just bring this out a little bit more. So let's open that. So this horizontal needs to go away. This horizontal needs to go away. Let's see if I can't just do something. Oh god, that's gonna be bad. Delete, and I'll delete that. Yeah, I might have to reset. Yeah, I might have to redraw these those style splines, which is okay. So that needs to go. This needs to go. And then it's the same, you know, kind of problem again. Oh, SolidWorks and tangent constraints. I honestly, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Honestly, I don't even blame SolidWorks like this. I have to look back in the VOD, but I think I put it together like that in the first place. Like sometimes it does flip, but I think I just goofed up and just didn't pay attention to how it should have been assembled. That was me being a goof. Equal. That can be the same. For some reason, oh, that needs to be vertical. There we go. And then let me hide the background sketch here, because for some reason it's like the exact same color. Style spline. Let's get this set up. So those need to be equal, horizontal. And have a dimension of whatever this is. Let's dink that in there, and then dink that in here. Okay. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. So if I do this and rebuild, seems to be pretty functional. Knock on wood. Before I try and animate this. Doink. Oh, that is an issue. I guess I'm gonna have to manually set that, honestly. Oh, excuse me. Let's give this an appearance. 1060. Metal, aluminum, brushed aluminum. And what color do I want to make this? What material? I might do a steel, just so that it contrasts a little bit with the rollers. There we go. I think that looks pretty cool. Additionally, I just realized too, I might be able to do this with just the Solidworks Toolbox. If I go to Toolbox, we're going to add that boy in. We just need a bolt that holds this down, because I don't know if you noticed in Thang's animation, he's just got a hex head bolt. I'll do my personal favorite, fastener. That's how you know you're a turbo nerd, by the way, if you have a favorite fastener, you know. I like socket head cap screws. Socket head cap screw. There is no matching size. That is fine. Though you don't have to be enormous, nor the size of an ant. Can we be somewhere in between? What about a 1/4-20? That looks pretty good. 1/4-20. It's slightly poking out. Okay, that's, oops, I goofed that. Well, let me get rid of that. So I think the nice thing is with this toolbox component, if I grab one of its planes, put it on the front plane, then grab the other plane like this, and just set a distance of 0.75. And I think it picked up, yeah, there we go, fully defined. What I can do now is get an axis. Honestly, I should put the regular axes in my assembly part file too, but I'll get an axis, circular component pattern. Grab that, and there it is. Just hides right in there. Okay, save. I'm gonna do a couple more things, and by a couple I mean just like one more thing. I think I'm just gonna lightly break the edges with a tiny chamfer, just so it doesn't look very plain. There we go. Now it looks kind of like something. Could even do the same to the roller if I wanted to. Chamfer. Ugh, actually, I don't like the way that looks. Never mind. I'll just do it for the box. And I think we're ready to go with motion study. Let me get it centered up on my screen here. Do something like that. Motion study. And all it should take to drive this is a rotary motor about there, going that way. That is good. And I might just have to test. So let me have this going kind of slow, because I didn't really think about the relationship between the diameter and the length of the track before it bonks on the other side. So I might just extend that out. Bro, that looks so cool. And bonk. And then, yeah, the solution is red. Very, very red. So let's rerun that. So it looks like it takes 8 seconds to get pretty close to the end there. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then stop. I said stop. Might bring that all the way to 16 seconds. Now, I want an instantaneous change. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn that motor off and then apply yet another motor just going the other way. Rotate, same speed for the same time, should bring it right back to where it started. We're going to put a key here, make sure it's at the same place, turn it off. There you go. So that should give us like an instantaneous change. No, or it could just break everything. Oh my gosh. Stop. That is so strange. It does not like that other motor being there. Delete. That's very peculiar. I wouldn't have expected the motors to fight against each other. Alright, well. Oh man, it is now doing all sorts of things. I guess it got there a little faster now. Whatever. I'm not gonna question it too much. Oh, it might have moved from its initial position. Oh, no, that looks fine. Having some interesting problems here. Oops. 12. Yeah, I just need to restart this animation fresh. Or now it wants to roll. Interesting that it calculates that one way. Hide motion symbols. Yeah, I want to see if I exported this as is. It's just a test. Alright, so it's actually doing the frame, so I would expect the animation to be okay, but we'll see. You know, we're just saving a low quality or low frame rate animation just as a test. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's pretty good, other than it being low frame rate. And actually, another way we could do this. So let me go back here. It doesn't like moving with my mouse though. Just give that a rebuild just in case. Oops. Let me try also, let's do a new motion study. And instead of a rotary motor, what if I do it as a linear motor? So I do something like, can I push on an origin? I sure can. In the direction of the right plane of the assembly, or can I select a face? There we go. So going that way. So 1 inch per second. So this is 12 inches minus, I guess, the width of this thing, which I don't really know, but we'll try. Yeah, let's leave it at 1. And I expect it to travel about 9 inches, give or take. So I'll put the time to 9. How does this work? I could also do it as like an oscillating. Oh, that is so weird. What is it doing? Pain. I'm gonna try something. It's my, oops, it's my theme. Let's do oscillating. 9. 0.2. Let's try that. Oh, it flipped. You saw that? I might have to increase the frame rate to make the calculations more often. Okay, that seems to work. So the increased frame rate. Let's not get too excited here. I only saw it make it to about here, and I need it to stop. Click, click, because I only need 5 seconds now. I only saw it reach a maximum of like there. Probably push it a little further. No. I'm guessing I should have hit yes to that question. Man, doing a little bit of struggle. Just a little bit of struggle busing here. Yeah, it locked up again. So I'm gonna like move that and then go back here. That's a bug, I feel like. Well, let's see how this works. So it should reach its maximum displacement at about 2.5 seconds. Very strange. I feel like this is buggier than this. Turn this up to 60 as well. Bro. Why are you starting out here? Let's see. Definitely struggling a bit. If this works good, I might save another test run at the higher frame rate too. Because I don't want to spend all the time in the world troubleshooting this. If I can get, you know, if a video of it going forward and then just play it in reverse, you know, I might just do that. This thing really is very cool though. I just love, like, especially if you use like a rubber material, you know, this region is hermetically sealed from this, as in no air can get to either side, assuming you put like sidewalls on it, of course. So you could drive it like a pneumatic like actuator, which I think is very, very cool. All right, stop. Save out. 60 MP4. Test 2. Oh, that's not right. That is so strange. For some reason it's having it start over here, unless I flip back to it. That is crazy. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's a bug. Let's do test 2 again. Yeah, you can see the first frame is not correct. Yeah, we want to replace that. And now it's playing back correctly. I didn't change any settings. I just stopped it, went back to the model tab, and went back to the motion study, and now it's exporting correctly. Yeah, basically what you see in that screen is like what you get. So if you see something immediately wrong in a way that's like not acceptable, that's your cue. You need to stop that and figure out. It's things like this I need to remember so my kid can ooh and ah people at the science fair when he gets older. That you really but you gotta file this one away. You gotta open up the tiny filing cabinet in your brain and just like file that one away. Because honestly, I've never seen this. I think if I showed this to my friends, they would think it's cool. Like if you showed up at a science fair with this, boy, he's going to States at the very least. Definitely let me know when you do that, like 5-10 years from now. Hopefully my channel will be still running and stuff like that. We're getting those baby steps though. Really just looks cool. Don't know what else to say about it. He's only 15 months old, so it'll be a while. Yeah, you know. I mean, you don't know. They grow up fast, man. And plus, like, I don't know if you've been noticing, but we demand more and more from our kids at younger and younger ages. Like the people who are like, really into academia. There's like 13-year-olds that are like, starting like nonprofits, of like science related things. I'm like, that is so amazing, but also the only thing I did at 13 was play Guitar Hero on like PlayStation or Xbox, you know. So I think yeah, it's a little accelerated. We're almost getting to the end of this, so definitely with the rebuilt, and especially with the spline in there, that's probably what's causing the rebuilds to be relatively slow. Although it should be rebuilt already, so it's just saving out. But yeah. Coming to the end here. So this is good. I know I'll be like somewhat safe with my model the day for today, that I can take this and do some fancy video editing, but I'm gonna keep playing around with it for like maybe 10 more minutes and then we'll call it a day. Ding means done. Let's take a quick look here. Rolomite. Let's test 2. Oh, now that is smooth as butter. A little weird thing going on with the texture there, but yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Alright, so I know I have that. I'll keep that in my back pocket. So let's do this. Let's extend this all the way out to 16. I'll put a key right here. Turn that on. It's gonna be on for the rest of the time. On. But this key will be to say that it goes negative. Hello? Do I literally just flip the direction? That's a little goofy. Okay. Hopefully that works. So it sees a transition. Update the affected keys. I'm a little scared too. Let's see what it does. So let's give that a calculate. See what happens there. This might take a while again. Are there any hockey fans in the chat, by the way? Anyone watching the playoffs? Been watching the Golden Knights and Penguins among other teams. And last night in hockey was a doozy, though. I just saw two teams just like furiously like shooting at the other team, and the puck just wouldn't go in. It was very rough to watch. I'm gonna keep reading about the Rolomite too. Rolomite Inertial Odometer. By attaching a small Rolomite roller to a large, heavily rim-weighted flywheel, the linear acceleration of the roller's centerline can be very small compared to the vehicle acceleration. Since this type of device is a doubly integrating accelerometer, vehicle displacement is proportional to the cluster displacement. A typical value is 8.5 by 204. Thus, if the driving roller in the figure moves 2 inches, it would represent a vehicle travel of 2.7 miles. Because of low friction, it can be done very actually. Hold on, I gotta study that. Vehicle acceleration. I don't really understand this, to be honest with you. Let me think about it. When Matthew's saying, to fill the time, what kind of equipment do you use for streaming and how do you like it? Now, that's a good question. I think the most interesting thing I use is something called the Marantz turret. So that's like the the camera that I like to adjust all the time, along with this like microphone. Here, let me Google it so you can actually see, because fortunately I can't turn the camera on itself. Marantz turret. Yeah, this thing. It's pretty good. I like it. I wish the video quality was a little bit higher, but of course, my video feed is like at a corner on the edge of the screen. But yeah, it's basically this thing that just sits on my desk. Has a camera integrated there. It's got the ring light that I have off right now, but I could turn that on if I wanted to adjust it, and then like this boom mic, which is very cool. What I really like about the microphone is that the microphone is suspended on like these rubber strings, sort of. Let's see if I can see a better image of it. Maybe there. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Google is loading. Yeah, but that microphone is like suspended there with a system of like rubber bands, sort of. And what it does is like it isolates my clicks, so you can still hear the click through the mic. But in my old videos, like I had a Blue Yeti microphone, and that's a fantastic microphone, by the way. I love that microphone. But putting it on my desk, like you can hear the clicks like doop 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 doop. I'm like, why are the clicks so loud? So definitely, it being like kind of isolated from those vibrations, its audio quality is overall much better. So great microphone, great camera, I think. The only thing I wish I could do with the camera is like raise it higher or lower, like as you can see with the if I go back to, I'm opening up all sorts of links. But if you see here, like the camera is just at that height and there's nothing you can do about it. But you can change the angle like this, though. So the mic run through USB or preamp? I run it just through USB. Though I think in the future I'll probably have a preamp, especially that I do want to have like more guests on the show too. So being able to balance like my audio and their audio and the music in the background, through a device on my desk would be easier than tabbing through my my stuff. Yeah, it's like that. There's a little bit of that like elastic that I was trying to show you. Yeah, so overall pretty good. It's also a USB hub, which is pretty good. Yeah, I really like it. Oh, it was going through. And that's not too bad. You know, only a couple of bad frames at the end. Yeah, because it looks like it bonks. Which is okay. Honestly, I could just omit that. Yeah, so I might try and... Yeah, so I might have to do a little bit of work still to make this perfectly loop, but it's totally doable though. I mean, what I would have to do... This is at the second tick. Place key. Oh no. Place key. So there shouldn't be anything there, so I need to flip the direction, I believe. There you go. So I think if I have that same transition right at the end, that unfortunately means I have to run this again or not. Stop. Man, this is being really buggy. So it's locked again. So model, motion study. Now I am free to move it. Alright, so I'll run this one more time, and I'll, for this one I'll say, it is what it is. I'll keep talking a little bit more about my setup or reading more about the Rolomite. Quality's good enough and makes for good portability if that was ever needed. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking too. I mean, it's a bit big, but if you have a suitcase, like if you just wanted to take the thing and just pack it, and you just know that you have all the basic equipment for a basic stream, I think that's pretty good. Because with a normal set, I was like, oh, I gotta get the camera, it's cable, microphone, it's cable, gotta get the stand, it's like you gotta have this checklist. But what I really like about the turret is that it's just all contained, it's all in one. Can run, dwell, and then reverse in Camtasia? Not really. Camtasia's a little potato. The sad part is, like, it can't even reverse. Like, I search high and low on the internet for a solution to this, and as far as, like, their own, like, their own developers, like, commented on the forum that reversing a clip in Camtasia is a limitation. Which I think is a little crazy, but that's okay. I mean, I would have just run it. I also have Adobe Premiere Pro, which, I only don't use because it's overkill for what I do. I just set text and save it as a GIF. So I usually go to Camtasia because it's so much quicker. But, it's like if, they kind of force me to, it's like, fine, I'll put it in Premiere Pro to do the reversing. Very silly, though. But I have a good feeling about this one. Usually I don't struggle this much with the animations, but hey, what can you do? It is what it is. I'm really interested to see what happens at the end here. So this is when it should start turning around and inflecting the other way. And alright, so I was doing that before. That's cool. So let's put this back and let's send this thing out. So let me Yeah, that's pretty good. 60. I put MP4, right? Usually I do. Well, we'll find out. Oh, I also missed a comment from you too. It's kind of scary, but also cool to see people like that young lady who's working with every robot. Like, I forget their names. No, it's yeah, Danielle Boyer and Vinia Gonna Shaker. Yeah, they're powerhouses. Like, it's like they do insane levels of not only you know facing their challenges, but just like the levels of productivity while being so young is like, you know, they're gonna go really, really, really far. Yeah, I'm very excited to see where they end up. And as far as streaming equipment, that's really like the only specialized piece of equipment. And I was about to say, sorry, I had something come up. Um, I would say the other thing is the monitors. Yeah, just having multiple monitors to just be able to monitor things and very easily is just very, very, very helpful. And allows me to read the comments very easily. I have like a low resolution monitor, which is the main like stage. So it can be pretty efficient. Inertial Odometer. I'm going to read this again. The linear acceleration of roller centerline can be very small. So as this is spinning, this gets moved out of the way. Interesting. The production factor. Forms a mechanical suspension system capable of achieving. Frame is fixed to the outer wheel, which I guess the center is driving. Oh yeah, it does say that, huh? Driving roller. I would like to see more about that. That's for sure. Sequencer. Substantial reductions in friction in the realm of extremely low bearing pressures. Devices based on the Rollemite concept may be dramatically simple and easily micro-miniaturized. Yeah, I can see that. Like, you could have this device be very, very small. That's basically what they're saying here. Fish scale, alright. Metal band to provide linear and upward spring force. Man, he really thought this through. This is cool. Bearing and speed reducer. So it's like that same concept. I think that this right here needs to be a future cab model of the day. The beauty of the band. Chemical etching. Yeah, I'm just looking around here. Parameters for defining the Rollemite geometry. Oh, I should have just read this instead of just guessing at the with the dimensions, but that's okay. I mean, I would have to look at this if I needed to actually like 3D print one and try and make one. I think that would be pretty cool. Band tension T. Normal reaction force. Where's that specified here? T. That's the spacing between the guide surfaces. That's this, so that's 3 in mine. Axial spacing between the roller center lines. I set that up with a mate. Repose angle of the cluster. That's something that's measurable. Wow, this is very detailed. Bro. Oh, applications. Offset channel force amplifications. Increases normal force N. That is very interesting. Detent designs which hold or protrude the cluster until a breakaway force can suddenly release it. That is very cool, because if you look at, if you look at this circle here, it's kind of resting in this pocket here. And if you unscrewed this, it would make the slot wider. This would rest deeper in there and make it harder to like come out of the slot. But with that, you could actually adjust the force you would have to pull on this to get it to come out of the detent. So it's like an adjustable detent. So you could have something like lock in place by, by pushing this back, and then that falls in there and it's like locked in place. But if you want to yank it out, but like deliberately so, that's very, very cool. I'm like blabbering about nonsense, but this is a deep rabbit hole, man. Band tension clutch. Ding means done. I have to build one of these, I think. What is that? Hang on. End of stroke decoupling. Hey Rob, I'm planning to start a small personal project. Awesome, dude. I wanted to tell you about it. You inspired to take the initiative. Thanks. Awesome. That's awesome. What's in like a sentence, like what are you thinking for your personal project? That's super exciting. Remember to post, and share your work. We'd love to see what you're up to. Alright, so for all the marbles, let's see how this came out. How did this come out? I believe it's just Rollamite. No! That is so sad. Oh, that hurts my soul. God, that stinks. I should have been paying attention to it. Well, I have one more trick up my sleeve. So let me get this to forces to recalculate, then export. Set this to MP4. Replace that because that's garbage. We want to replace, and now it just says, do you want to recalculate before saving? Yes, because during the calculation, okay, so nothing's moving. Seems to be going a lot faster, so I don't know what that means, but we'll see. I know I said the next one is last one. We'll try this, and if this doesn't work, I'll do some video magic. But I'm really excited to hear about, what Sebastian is starting. I just love it when, people, take inspiration not only from the stuff that I model, like they say, oh, I should use that in my thing, but it's just, when they, yeah, just anything you can take away from me, that's awesome. That's why I do this stuff. So I'm really really glad. And for those of you who don't know, like Sebastian was like in my stream since like day one, so I really appreciate him. Really appreciate you, man. Okay, so that continues to go. Now back to the rabbit hole. That is this. Shaft socket is not necessary, but it does reduce friction. There's like at least like 10 CAD models of the day that are hiding in this document. Simple speed changers. How come I've never heard of this? I'm so salty. You can also make cycloids with it? Oh, come on, dude. Well, I mean, of course, because it's rolling along a surface. Great stream. You heading out? All right. I'm so glad you could stay with me for all this time, man. Make sure that lawn gets mowed. You wouldn't have to answer to the wife for that, but yeah, really appreciate it. I'll see you later, dude. Pumping arrangement. Oh, come on, a thermostat too? I'm not even halfway through this page. I don't know if you see this little scroll thingy. I'm barely halfway through. I'm definitely here. That's I'm gonna bookmark this. This is pretty fascinating. Taper cutouts. I hope this is going now. There's like an error. That sucks. I don't know what could possibly be wrong. But I think I'll let it go. Because if anything, I could just do a cut there. Ugh, man. I go from like very fascinated to just like bleh. Formed bands. And there's already patents for this. Rolomite acceleration sensor. Let's take a look at that patent. So I can say USPTO patent search. It said it was in 1993, so should be able to find it with just a basic search like this. I might have to take out acceleration sensor. Can we see images? Full pages. That's really amazing. Like the cutouts with the band. 240, that's this. So it goes. And 220 should be somewhere around here. Yeah, because 250 is this end. You see that? Yeah, so it looks like it hits the other side of the wall, which is... yeah, I think I might end the stream here soon. Yeah, I'll let this calculate. I might let it calculate on my own time because this part's kind of boring. Now let's take a look at, you know, my best current iteration. Roll of my test 2. Let's take a look at that. So let's focus on this. You know, this looks very good. So I think we're going to be ending there. So if you really liked this stream and you want to see more like it, make sure to hit subscribe. If you want to help me at no cost to you, all you got to do is hit that like button because YouTube really likes the like button right now. Additionally, make sure you join my Discord. I submitted the link in the chat to that a little bit earlier, but in case you haven't seen it, you know, it's this one, so copy. So that's the link to my Discord where you can join my Discord with a free Discord account. And if you want to see my Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, or anything else listed here, you just follow my Linktree /virtualflat. That's also in the chat. Will bring you to this, and you can just pick whatever you want, and you know, interact with some of the commenters in here too, if that's more your speed. But yeah, with that, you'll be seeing a version of this video posted tonight, and I really appreciate everyone who came out to watch me stream. I really mean it, more than you know. So with that, I'll catch you 2 days from now, this Thursday. Bye bye.